You're creating the content you want to see in the world. You found a niche, you developed a unique voice, and you share personal insights while entertaining a healthily growing audience. No one makes content like you. You are an original. But how did you get there? Probably by being unoriginal. Hi, I'm Andy, a creator, marketer, and musician sharing strategies I've used on the job and in my content to help you improve your creativity. Be sure to subscribe, watch to the end, and leave a like if you learned something. Let's begin with the virtue of unoriginality. When starting to make content, you typically know your interests and the types of videos, streams, etc. that you want to make. Whether that's streams playing a particular game, making vlogs about a particular topic, producing music on TikTok, or writing blogs about your professional field. In these early stages, it's pretty easy to know what you want to do, but as every creator advice person says, you need to find a unique niche to stand out. It's hard to do something better than the big experienced names, so it's far more manageable to do something different. But how do you do that? Chances are, this process is already going on inside your head. Start by building from what you already watch. Have you ever noticed that something in your content turned out to be peculiarly similar to something you've already watched? Maybe it's the setup for a joke, a particular edit, a particular section of a song, or even some skill you're deciding to improve. Obviously, you're not intentionally copycatting somebody else's work, but by consuming content from creators you admire, you are learning. As you start thinking like a creator, as you watch content, you might start making mental notes without even realizing and try things later in your own content. Basically, you're passively absorbing ideas you can implement in the content that you see. One of my favorite books, Steal Like an Artist, which I think is something every creator should read, goes in depth about this process. It largely talks about how you can turn the process of this subconscious inspiration from the content you consume into a more intentional one of actually actively learning from the people that you watch. By studying other creators, you can develop active, supercharged creative growth. One key idea that Cleon presents is that nothing is original, but that's a good thing. If nothing is completely original, you don't need to pressure yourself with having completely original ideas built from scratch. Allow yourself to take inspiration from people. Who inspires you? What about what they do inspires you? Can you break down particular elements from what they do into things that you can implement? And also consider who inspires the people who inspire you. And this is not a free pass to be a copycat. Steal elements from how something is made, not what that thing is. Take the building blocks, not the completed product. The things you enjoy and connect with in other creators might be a reflection of your own voice trying to be heard. Your unique creative voice probably looks like some amazing blend of the elements you've collected from the creators who inspire you. If it's important to distill specific pieces of information from the content that you consume, how do you even get there? And how can you make it relevant to the niche that you want to build? So here's an exercise to help you find your voice based off of what you watch. First, consider at least 2 steps of specificity into that niche. Not too specific, but not too broad either. For example, gaming would be step 1. Step 2 would be gaming creators who do something with that, like comedic content, challenges, speedruns, tutorials, or specializing in a particular game. Likewise, vlogs are just step 1. Step 2 would be like vloggers who travel, share a particular lifestyle, discuss fashion, discuss health or fitness, do challenges, or even mix some of these elements, like a health challenge vlog with comedic writing. But if the point is, if you consider what content you want to make, what 2 steps of specificity might it sound like? My 2 steps are step 1, vlogs, step 2, educational, and then step 2.5 or 3 would be for creators or for ocarinists. I make educational blogs for creators and ocarinists. Next, find creators in that niche, ideally ones you already enjoy watching, and then identify what works about their content. Is it their script writing, their storytelling, their comedic timing, their quick wit, digestible education, seamless editing, amazing B-roll, something about their video format or presentation style, relatability? It's worth noting that these people you're taking inspiration from don't need to be exactly in your niche, but at least some of the people that you're looking at should be in a similar niche that you want to be in. So using myself as an example yet again, some elements about the content from creators who inspire me are like the relatable education of Graham Stephan, the B-roll of better ideas, the entertaining education of Wheezy Waiter, the challenge aspirational production value and storytelling of Michel Carré, the teaching style of Ali Abdaal, and the digestible technicality in presenting ideas of both Epos Vox and Harris Heller. These are all factors that inspire me, and I haven't even implemented all of them in my content yet. But if you do the same, your results will vary. It's your voice you're looking for, not mine. But on the note of implementing those elements you've identified, the last step of this exercise is to figure out the skills you need to apply them. Snappy or artistic editing would require you to get above average with editing software like Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, or Final Cut Pro. A quick wit and good comedic timing might require you taking improv classes. Great storytelling would definitely require more study of creators and television shows that do it really well or that inspire you. And shooting great B-roll both requires a lot of study, learning how to use a camera, and a lot of practice. And getting great at connecting with your audience and seemingly always knowing what they want would require you to get some marketing knowledge. That's so you can better identify how to connect with them and what they're looking for. It's marketing research, baby. But the point is, just because you've identified elements that inspire you doesn't mean you can implement them. You have to learn the skills to be able to do so. But this is all to say, originality lies beyond unoriginality. In most cases, to reach originality with your voice and your content, you have to start by being unoriginal and look at what's done well already. At the end of this process, you will realize more and more that originality lies after you've taken unoriginality to its absolute limit. In the chapter Staying on the Bus of his book 4,000 Weeks, Oliver Burkeman discusses that patience and perseverance will often lead to more originality than simply only trying new things. A quote reading, "If you always pursue the unconventional in this way, you deny yourself the possibility of experiencing those other, richer forms of uniqueness that are reserved for those with the patience to travel the well-trodden path first. Know the rules before you break them." There's a reason you learn scales, fundamentals, and classical music before jumping into jazz when learning an instrument. Making something new is often all about rearranging the building blocks that are already there in a new way. And strangely enough, at rearranging the blocks that already exist, you will inevitably find new blocks at your disposal. These ideas actually work. The key thesis of this video is not an original idea. I'm putting together elements of things that I've consumed in a new way. Like the idea of distilling the best content from the creators who inspire you and turning it into something new is not an original idea. Austin Kleon discusses it in Steal Like an Artist, and Oliver Burkeman discusses very similar concept in 4,000 Weeks. Many creators cite Steal Like an Artist as one of their very biggest inspirations, and it's one of mine, just like 4,000 Weeks as one of my most recent huge inspirational reads. Finding your voice and developing your niche are a result of studying those that inspire you. Implement what you connect with and blend it all into a unique perspective. Then, develop the skills to execute it. What you resonate with is your voice. It's waiting to be heard. To be original, start with being unoriginal. If you want more insight on developing your ideas, voice, and content strategy, watch my video on building a content temple. It's a framework to further develop your niche, which complements these ideas amazingly. Otherwise, thanks for watching, leave a like, subscribe for more, watch that video next, and I'll see you next time. Happy creating.